Well, the Lakers beat the Jazz last night. They climbed back to 500, but Frank Vogel's job still in jeopardy. The Lakers head coach is being evaluated game by game, according to The Athletic. And he came close to losing his job after LA's 37-point loss to the Nuggets over the weekend. After winning an NBA title in his first season as head coach, the Lakers lost in the first round of the playoffs last season, and right now they're in the 7th spot in the West. Let's bring in former NBA Coach of the Year, Avery Johnson. Avery, anything that Frank Vogel could do, in your opinion, to put that team in a better position to succeed moving forward?
Well, I think before you talk about Frank Vogel, you got to look at the general manager, Rob Pelinka. He assembled this kind of ill-fated team that really can't defend anybody. It gives me hope to come out of retirement to play against the Lakers because I think I could still go back in time and score because they're not very good defensively. So you got to look at the construction of the roster. Russell Westbrook has had serious turnover issues this year. They traded Rondo. Anthony Davis, who arguably when he's playing his best basketball could be one of the top 5 players in the NBA. He's been consistently injured. So you can talk about Frank Vogel, but again, this roster has been flawed from the start. But again, you can't always trade the players. So that's why it's always discussions about coaches losing their jobs.
Yeah, and I know you were a head coach and a great one, an NBA Coach of the Year, and I'm not going to belittle what coaches do in the NBA, but as you know, when you're coaching a guy like LeBron James on a team like that, which he basically runs, the coach doesn't have maybe as big of an impact as some might think. How much of an impact, positively or negatively, do you think a coach could have on a team like this?
Well, you can have a positive effect, but it also goes, Chris, to your relationship with the best player on the team. So if there's a fracture or if Frank Vogel's relationship is fragmented with LeBron James, then LeBron James, obviously, who already has a lot of power and authority, he's going to make this decision with ownership if he thinks a change needs to be made. So the idea of whether Frank Vogel survives or if Frank Vogel gets fired or relieved of basketball duties, that's the cute way they say it when they firing you, LeBron James is going to be very involved in that decision, not so much Anthony Davis. So I think Frank Vogel, this is going to really show the type of relationship that he has with LeBron James, not Russell Westbrook or anybody else on that team. And if his relationship is solid with LeBron James, I think he's going to survive. If it's not, then you can see a move being made pretty quickly.
In a season with 82 games, with load management now and a really old team, how can you put your team in the best position to peak at the end of the season when you don't know if you're going to be there at the end of the month or the week?
Well, and that's why in a situation like today with all of the reports, Jeannie Buss and ownership and Rob Pelinka, the GM, they got to come out and make a strong statement. And if Frank Vogel's job is not in jeopardy, tell the fans, communicate that with the team, because every time there's a bad quarter or a bad half or you lose a game, then there's going to be a lot of doubt whether he can survive if ownership doesn't come out and clearly articulate whether they're in support or not in support of the head coach, and it puts him in a bad position. And then you also have to wonder what type of effect are Frank Vogel's assistants? Where do they stand in all of this? Are the assistants whispering things to the players or ownership behind the scenes, trying to backdoor Coach Vogel in this situation? So it's a dicey situation. I think for the Lakers to really have any level of success, especially until Anthony Davis comes back, somebody needs to step up and figure out whether his job is in jeopardy or if it's not in jeopardy.
That's Avery Johnson with the latest on Frank Vogel. The Athletic reporting that his job is in jeopardy, being evaluated on a game-to-game basis at this point.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
And Chris, can you just tell the Lakers I'm not available?
Avery's not available to coach them, but he is available to play against them if you need a sharpshooter out there, because he knows that defense is struggling. Avery, thank you so much, man. Lakers next up
Thanks.
Wednesday at home against the Pacers, and then they go on the road for a long road trip. They are 15-1 right now to win the NBA championship. The Brooklyn Nets, still the favorites, plus 260.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.